I'd like to welcome back the viewers of Yiboneh and Torah Anytime to KLM, the Kavanah Mitzvah's Foundation. And we're back to one of our favorite series, which is the Parsha of the Shavua through the eyes of KLM. That means that we want to make sure that the Parsha of the week is relevant to your life in terms of mitzvah observance. But how could we omit providing you with what everyone wants, a word for the table? So we're going to start off Parshas Chayei Sarah with a word for your table, and then a mitzvah for your table. And that mitzvah is not just for your table, it's for your life. So with no further ado, let's get a word for our table. In this week's Parsha, Parshas Chayei Sarah, so it's the famous union and marriage of Yitzhak Avinu and Rivka Imenu. Let's go to close to the end of the Parsha, and we're gonna learn something frankly amazing about Yitzhak and Tefillah and Mincha. Okay, so the pasuk is in Perek Chaf Daled, pasuk Samach Gimel. I'll just read the pasuk. V'yetze Yitzhak lasuach b'sadeh. Yitzhak went out lasuach. Interesting word, lots of opinions, but let's go with Rashi. Rashi says it means to pray. Lasuach, an ani pours out his sicha, his speech. You're pouring yourself out, your words from your heart to Hashem. So Yitzhak went lasuach b'sadeh when lifnos erev, in the towards the evening, which, as we know, was in the afternoon, mincha time. Now, listen to this amazing chiddush of the Kli Yakar. Mincha was when Yitzhak prayed. Now, all the avos we know established our central prayers. Avram established Shachris, Yitzhak Mincha, and Yaakov Avinu Morev. Now, what was unique about Yitzhak's prayer? Unlike the other two, it was answered immediately. Now, we have to understand something else. What was Yitzhak praying about? What was his tefillah? What was the topic of his tefillah? So the Kli Yakar explains, Mistaber, very, very logic. He was praying for a wife. You know where this is going. He was praying for a wife because the Gemara Bracha teaches us one of the things you have to make sure you pray for is a wife. Listen up, you men. So he's praying for that. At the same time, Eliezer is in the process of his mission to find Yitzhak HaShidduch. Okay? And now, what happens next? In the same pasuk, let me continue. It said, first of all, again, it said, V'yetze Yitzhak lasuach b'sadeh. He went out to daven in the field lifnos erev in the late afternoon. V'yasa einav, he raises his eyes, VR, and he sees, V'hinei gemalim b'im. Their camels are coming, bringing Rivka, his destiny, mid-tefillah. He was answered so quickly that mid-tefillah he had his wife. Now, this fits beautifully with the Gemara Brachos, because the Gemara Brachos says, be zahir, be very, very careful. Treat Mincha with tremendous respect. Why? Because Eliyahu Navi, the Gemara says he was only answered at Mincha time. And what's the Tzad Shavu? What's the equation between Yitzhak and Eliyahu Navi davening at this time? Eliyahu Navi, the fire comes down on the korban immediately. This is the power of Mincha. So take great care, and of course, have in mind to fulfill the mitzvah of davening Mincha. Take full advantage of it. What a lesson from the Parsha. So that's your word for the table. Okay. Now let's go to a mitzvah for your table and for the rest of your life, please God. This, I almost fell off my seat when I heard this, okay? I have a great discovery to share with you. There is an opportunity for you to fulfill a mitzvah d'oraisa that is one of the constant mitzvahs. It's also mentioned 9 times in the Torah. What mitzvah am I talking about? Avos Hashem. Now listen to this application. It has to do with none other than Tefillas Mincha. Let's talk about Avos Hashem. It says, we say this in the first paragraph of the Kriya Shema. V'ahavta Hashem Elokecha. You know what's next. B'chol lavavecha, b'chol nafshecha, and let's focus on this one. B'kol meodecha. To love Hashem b'kol meodecha. There's more than one understanding of this. All of them are true. All of them are mitzvahs d'oraisa. What we want to focus on is meodecha refers to all your mammon, all your wealth. Okay, so you should love Hashem with all your wealth. Now, how do you show that? How do you fulfill that? Basically, you have to show your love through making a financial sacrifice. And here's the discovery that was so exciting. Why is mincha, as we said, something so powerful that you get an answer immediately? Well, when do you have to daven mincha? In the middle of the day. What do you have to put on hold at that time? Your work, your attempt to acquire wealth. You have to put it aside to daven mincha. And the Maharal says, guess what? That means we can fulfill every time you go to mincha, right? Every time you go, you put aside your efforts for your family and for your living and your parnasa, and you go pray to Hashem. So he says, we are showing Hashem that our relationship with him takes precedence over our financial interests. There you go. Every time. So let's now take advantage of this, all right? As I always try to stress, I never want these lessons to just be something you hear, like I call it like entertainment or a TV show. Let's just think of some ways to make sure we take advantage of mincha, okay? So and this is a famous thing we've repeated a lot. You know, if you don't make a strong commitment to something, it usually doesn't happen. But that's not enough. You have to set a time. And then that's still not enough. You have to set a reminder. So I'd like to encourage you, whatever form of communication works for you, right? You could take a Post-it and put it on your sitter saying, don't forget to express to Hashem that you're loving him with all your money. You could have an alarm that goes off on your phone before you turn off the phone to daven, etc. All right, use your creativity. But number one, remind yourself of this golden opportunity to express to Hashem. Remember, you're doing it anyhow. You're putting aside your financial efforts to daven mincha. Why not get the full thing? Express your intentions to Hashem. Say, Hashem, I'm stopping what I'm doing right now because I love you. I love you even at the expense of my effort for my wealth. Okay, that's the kind of thing that you should just make sure you remember to express. Okay, and how about this one? You could even say to yourself, to make it like feel it, to say, you know what? As I head to mincha, this is a meodecha moment or set of moments. All right, everybody. So to review, Yitzhak's prayer for his wife materialized immediately. Shows you the power of mincha. Eliyahu Navi, the Eish came down on the Korban, the Kiddush Hashem, incredible Kiddush Hashem at mincha, responded to immediately. And That's your word for the table. And don't forget the mitzvah for the table. Amazing. You can show Hashem every time you daven mincha. You love him with all your resources. B'kol me'odecha. Okay? Hatzlacha Rabbah. And have a wonderful Shabbos.
יש שם שיר חדש ובן